Deep, deep. Fetch. All right. Sit. Out. Sit. Well, I thought long and hard about what I could say. What I wanted to do is release the secret to becoming a better dog trainer. And it took quite a lot of thought because I wanted to divide it into just two categories. And I thought, wait a minute, it's not really a secret. Everybody already knows it. The two secrets are being consistent and practicing. So everybody already knows that. But do they do it? And I've decided that only the most skillful trainers really can do it. Consistency is, for instance, if you decide that every time you leave your house, you're going to open the door, you're going to walk out, the dog's going to sit in the room, and you're going to call it out and close the door behind you. That means you never have your hands full and open the door and the dog goes running out. Never is what many people can't quite figure out. They do it some of the time, but not all the time. That means they're what? Not consistent. I like my dog to jump up on me because we're pals. Oh, wait a minute, don't jump up on me when I have my new suit on, just when I have my old suit. So dogs can't quite figure all these things out. So make decisions ahead of time what you're going to be consistent with, and then be consistent. When you say sit, you want to make the dog sit every time. You can't say, oh, there was a distraction, or oh, I didn't really care that time, or he wasn't listening, or he didn't hear me. Consistency means always, not some of the time. So I know that that's a well-known topic. Everybody understands it. But if you want to be a better trainer, then think about being consistent. The other thing, and I think it's especially in retrievers and retriever training, it's the most poorly disciplined training process there is, and that is really the lack of practice. In music, a good musician will play the scales hundreds of times. In basketball, players will shoot free throws hundreds in a row. In tennis, a player will serve hundreds of serves in a row. But in dog training, we teach a dog something, he does it twice, and we're off doing something else. So, and I've talked about this many times, but yet I watch people and they do not practice anything. They go out and do things, they play the game, but they don't practice. Practice is, if you're working on fetch, it looks like this. Fetch, sit, out, sit, 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 fetch, sit, out. That would be the beginning of a practice session on fetch. Some people say, oh, my dog, wait a minute, buddy, sit. They teach a dog something, they have them do it a few times, sit, but they don't practice. Sit, down, down, sit, down, sit, down, sit, down, sit, down, sit. Good. Fetch, sit, down, sit, good, down, sit, down, sit, out, fetch, sit, sit, down, sit, fetch, sit, out, sit, fetch, sit. Okay, so that would be what I would call a short practice session. How many times do you do it? That was maybe 20. I'd say 100 is a good starting point. Now you're going to have something that starts to become reliable. You're going to have a dog that you can count on. When you say sit, they're going to sit. When you say fetch, they're going to fetch. When you say down, they're going to down. When you say here, they're going to come. And it's going to be something they do every time, not just some of the time. The other thing that's part of consistency is that I have a friend that lives in Louisiana, a character by the name of Pat Huckabee. He's a Cajun, and he's consistently a great cook. And I've already filmed it. It's going to be coming up in the next few days, the way he makes shrimp. And I'm going to tell you, he's consistently fabulous. So keep an eye out for that.